A storage for a bunkhouse. Again, the theater seating across from the TV, the dimmer switch, the microwave, the under the sink storage for your trash can. Because they put the bunks long ways in the back, it gives you a bigger bathroom. Just makes it easier, just bigger for camping. I mean, everybody likes a bigger bathroom. I mean, has a queen bed up front, tons of storage.
Get a chance to hear what the coaches say about the program in the school and what the players think about how the season's going and even how they train and the things they do in the games. It's an intimate setting, but it's very nice that we are able to do that. Also, we have speakers that come, keynote speakers. Just to name a few that'll be coming to our club this year will be on September 9th, Houston Nutt. On September 16th, Lauren Sisler. She's a SEC network announcer and commentator. We have Eli Gold coming, Dari Noka from the SEC network, and we'll end up with Holly Rowe, who I don't think she needs any announcing, but it's an opportunity for you to hear these guys speak. And the reason I bring that up is we're looking for some membership, and we have available spots for you to join. If you'd like to join, what we want you to do is reach out to one of the board members, or we have a page on Facebook you can go to, and you can message there, hey, I'd like to be a part. It is a fun night. We provide a dinner. You can come. Starts at 6 o'clock, and we try to get out by 8-ish, and it's just a really good night for everybody involved. The reason we have these meetings and the reason the Quarterback Club is here today is to provide 4 scholarships to these young men that play football in Calhoun County, and they have that opportunity. And we like to use this platform so that these guys might have an opportunity to go on to the next level as far as education, and we want that to happen. With that said, I now want to welcome to our Cooper Chevrolet stage at the 2024 Calhoun County High School Football Media Day, the White Plains Wildcats. White Plains competes in a 4A Region 6. The head coach for the Wildcats is Blake Jennings. Today's Coach Jennings has brought with him senior lineman Ty Roberts and senior running back and linebacker Patrick Sams. Coach Jennings, we'd like to start with your opening comments.
Yes, sir. Hey, we appreciate you guys, the Quarterback Club, here having us today. This is probably the best media day in the state. I would put it up against anybody's. It's just always been a great thing you guys have been doing for however many years now, for a long time. Well, again, we appreciate you being here. And like you said, these 2 guys I brought with me today, Ty Roberts here, he's going to play offensive line and defensive line for us. Patrick Sams will play running back and linebacker. These 2 guys got to come today, you know, and because of what they do for us as a program. And because of y'all being able to do this here at the Quarterback Club, this is something they'll remember for forever. So I just appreciate y'all doing this for these kids and recognizing them. I just think it's such a big deal. You know, as for us, though, as a program for White Plains football, really proud of our kids throughout the off season. You know, what we've done from really last November when the season ended till now, the work they've put in that weight room has went a long way. You know, they've come in every day. There's been a lot of consistency with this, and we've seen a lot of gains. We've seen a lot of gains in their speed, and you know, they've done their speed work. They've done their conditioning. But one of the biggest things has been our mentality, and I think that has changed a ton just in a year. You know, because when you come in last June, you know, you're there for 2 months, and you're really trying to get to know the kids at that point and still develop relationships. Well, now you've been around them for over a year. You develop really good relationships with them, and you learn who they are. And then you start, you start working on that mindset with these guys. And that, to me, is what changes the culture. And one of those things, my wife and I were talking one night, and she made the comment, she said, dialogue is what changes culture. And, it hit me like a ton of bricks, because what you think and what you do on a daily basis and how, the things you say, the things you think, that's what changes, the program and where it's at and what we're trying to do at White Plains High School. And these 2 guys, they embody everything that we've been doing. That's why they're here today. But they'll be the first ones to tell you there's probably 15 to 20 other guys that we could have brought today, that have done the same thing, that have been bought in and doing everything we ask them to do. And they again, that mindset change is what they've done. Expect to win everything you do. And with that being said, my thing is White Plains football, it should be as successful as the basketball program. Coach Randall's been there for a long time. He's done a phenomenal job with basketball. Baseball's seen some success in the past, and there's no reason football shouldn't see that success. And I think you're going to see that this year. These guys have really put in the work. I think we had a chance to have a really good year. You know, and I go back and I say that about Coach Randall, and it goes back to what I'm talking about, this mindset stuff. He told me last year, and I lean on him a lot. He's taught me a lot as a coach. You know, there's 4 ways you win a game. Sometimes you win them with players, and you know, you got better players and you win games. Sometimes you win it with strategy just because you got a little bit better coaching. You know, third thing is culture. You know, your culture may win you a couple of games throughout the year where they've got a little bit better players, but your culture is a little bit better. You know, so you're going to win those games. And the fourth thing is just the will to win and expecting to win. And when you walk on that field, you expect to win every single game. You know, we're not here to lose. And that's what our kids have done a good job of. And I even told him that on Wednesday this week at workouts. We're standing there. It's about, you know, we're right at the end of it. And I said, man, they believe it. And that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited to watch these boys go out on Friday nights and just compete. You know, we're ready for August the 22nd when that first game gets here.
Let's open it up now to questions.
To Blake and Ty and Patrick, what did coming so close to the playoffs last year do as far as juicing that off-season feeling, that environment, and the expectations for this year?
I'll go first here with them. Seeing that night when we played Montford, we're getting beaten overtime. You know, we had a chance to make the playoffs, and we were right there. And, you know, as you go into that game, it's 28-28 in overtime, and you just sit back and you just kind of looked at the crowd, and you've seen the crowd, you've seen the support that we have in White Plains. And I think that's one thing these boys saw too. Like, man, they're behind us, and that's one thing about the White Plains community. They're going to be behind you. You know, no matter what's going on, they're going to be there. But that really, I think, help with that mindset. And like we talked about it, like we didn't play real well this first 4 or 5 weeks throughout the season, but as the season, we got to the middle of the year, things started changing a little bit. We started playing a little bit better football. And you know, I think for them, it was like, man, you know, we had a chance, and I'll let them speak on it too.
I think it just really stoked the fire a lot. Like you said, seeing the crowd, there's just nothing like when you're standing on the field and you look back and you've got 300 people just yelling at the top of their lungs, beating on that metal tin. You just can't beat it. There's nothing that feels the same.
Yeah, like Ty said, you know, during the game, I didn't even realize how big the crowd was. But whenever overtime hit, I kind of like looked and saw the crowd, and I was like, man, there's a lot of people here, and like they're really behind us.
Coach, we got another question right here. Last year at this time, you were brand new head football coach. Everything was, I mean, you were drinking from a fire hose. You know, I talked to you several times, and you were been an assistant for 13 years, but that head coaching job, it's a different level. Talk just a minute about that, where you're at today versus where you were at 1 year ago today. Is it some things better, some things worse? Talk to us.
It's a million miles from where we were this time last year, just with the kids and the stuff they've done. But, you know, as the head coach part of it, it's learning to what you have to get done, like all the different little stuff that goes on that you really don't think about as when you're an assistant. And like you said, I was assistant for 13 years, and there's just other little things that have to be done all the time. But then you have to go back and you have to fall back on people. Your assistant coaches, they help me a ton. You know, Coach Sprayberry, that dude at the drop of a hat, he would be there to help me. So that makes it a lot easier there, you know, as being a head coach. We got people, you know, in the community. Van Roberts, he's helped me a ton. I can call him, and he's there. So having support from everybody, I think that's been the biggest thing that makes it the easiest. And I think this year will be a little bit easier. Last year, you know, your first year head coach, you're the baseball coach. We had a newborn. Miles was born in September, and you know, so that's not going on this year. So that'll make it a lot easier, and it just, I don't know, it's been a lot easier. I know that going in from 1 year to the next.
Question right here. This is for Ty and Patrick. You guys, of course, are seniors. You've been going up through White Plains, probably had several coaches. Tell us what it means to you guys to lead. And as Coach Jennings told me before you started, he could have brought 30. But what does it mean to be up here and to lead these players through the hallways, through their work, through their studies, and then when they get out on the field? Do you guys feel that part of not the pressure, but the responsibility?
Like you said, pressure. I don't really think it's pressure. I think it's really a great feeling when you know that you're well, I'm a senior this year, so like your 9 through 11 is looking up at you and seeing what you're doing and almost mimicking what you do. But when they see you do good things, they're going to do it. But they also going to see you do bad things. That's why, like you said, you could have brought up 30 people. Being one of those, the top 2, there's a lot of things people look after, and so with all those eyes on you, you can't really. You gotta do the right thing, like integrity. You gotta do the right thing. People, when you think no one's looking, but really the people are.
You know, ever since I was little, you always look up to high schoolers, and I've been waiting for this moment for a while. And now that I'm here, I gotta lead and be responsible. You know, 9 through 11, they look up to me. So when I do something bad, they're gonna mimic it, and when I do something good, they're gonna look up to me. You always gotta, lead in the right way, and not bring them down, but always pick them up. So, really establish that into my mindset.
I think these 2 guys, I'll say this, we talked last year about coach-led teams versus player-led teams, and last year it was more of a coach-led team, and where this year, and you hear that from a lot of places, but it truly has been more of a player-led team, player-led by example in the weight room and on the field and during our practice. You know, these 2 guys, they've done it, and that's what we're looking for.
Blake, 2 personnel questions. First of all, you had a quarterback last year that stepped up for you as a freshman and helped you in that late season surge. And how has he developed? And then also, who steps in for the production that Dylan gave you?
You know, Crew's had a great summer. He's went to a lot of camps. That's one thing that I'll say this, that's a bunch of them. We've had a ton of kids go to camps this summer and just trying to, improve their craft and do what they do on a daily basis just to make themselves better. But Crew has had a good summer. He's went to a bunch of stuff. He's been working on a lot of things, and he stepped in and did a good job for us about week 5 or 6 last year. So he'll be, we'll lean on Crew a good bit, but some of the other guys that we're looking at are P.J. Holloway. He's a freshman. He's a 10th grader. He's had a really good summer himself. You've got Rodney Perry. Those are a couple of guys, those skill guys that you look at for production. Ethan Turner, he's our wide receiver. He's got great hands. He'll be another part of the offense that we're looking at, scoring some points and doing those different things and just trying to use everybody on the field, because when you only have one guy, sometimes it makes that, it can make the offense, it gets a little stagnant. But if you can use 4 and 5 guys a night and make it well balanced and using everybody on the offense, it's going to make it much better.
Question back here. This is a reclassification year, and we know back in the spring we really thought, some of us, that you may be going down to 3A. The way it turned out, stayed in the same region, but you lost one and you added one. Talk a moment about your region opponents and how that will shape up this year.
Yeah, you went into that thing, and even if you would have fell into 3A, because we were right there on the line, I think we were maybe the smallest 3A in the state. Even if you fall into that, you fall into that 3A region that's right here that's always really tough. So it doesn't matter. There's always good football around here, whoever you're playing. Our region this year, you take a couple of teams out of it that we've had in the past, but there's still a couple of teams in there we've seen. Anniston's still in there, going to have a really good team. Cherokee County went to the state championship the past 2 years. I think it speaks for itself how good those guys are going to be. You got Hoax Bluff, Alexandria, Etowah, Aniana, Asheville. You've got all those teams that are in there. It's going to be a really good region. It'll be tough, and just looking forward to it. But at the end of the day, it's like we told the kids when we left our last workout, the only thing that should be on their mind right now is Talladega, and that's all that matters is just that first game.
And for Patrick and Ty, talk about, we know Monday, practice starts. Will it be different this year? You alluded to it earlier, but being a senior, what are your expectations individually for each one of y'all? What are you wanting to do your senior year? We'll start with you, Ty.
First, I want to embrace I've looked up to all the seniors from my past, but now that you are one, you got to take it all in. This is the last time you're going to get to do it unless you go play college ball. But Monday it's gonna start some of our last, but I'm thankful for that I'm going to be able to do that. And just being able to put pads on one more time is going to be fun.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. It's our first practice. you know, you'd always had seniors to look up to, but this year it's just different. And, you know, getting put pads on one last time for the first time is going to be really fun. So.
Question right here.
Hi, Blake. First off, talk about the new helmet. It's really hot. And then I want you to talk about, with the school kind of relocating, how you feel about your playing facility basically now being off campus.
The helmet here first, we knew we had to get new blue and white jerseys, and I wanted to do something a little bit different with the helmet also. And so, you know, you start looking around on the computer everywhere and trying to find different things. And, you know, we just wanted to change the color up a little bit. And so we went with the matte gray and kept the same stickers from last year, but we put the WP on the side of it. It just, you know, it looks really good. Just something a little, change it up a little bit with the kids. And again, to me, it just goes back to you're trying to change a culture, trying to change everything. So, you know, why not change the helmet a little bit? And, you know, it matches the jerseys real well. So we're excited about it and what it looks like. It does look good. But when it comes to the school stuff, we really don't know, you know, the relocating. We know that's going to happen in a couple of years. There's just a lot of questions that still go into what's going to happen and where the football facilities are going to be. So at the end of the day, I really don't have a lot of questions, a lot of answers to that question, honestly, for you right there at this point.
Coach, if you will, we'll close out this part of Media Day. We, again, appreciate y'all leading us off 2024. We do know, a lot of the listeners may not know, and viewers, but your guy to your left and right were supposed to be headed out of town yesterday, and when they realized that what an honor this was, you shared with them, they waited a day to leave. So they're gonna head out of town as soon as this is over with. But if you will, just take a few minutes, give us your closing comments, and we wish you all the luck to White Plains this fall.
Yes, sir. Hey, we appreciate y'all again just having us up here and recognizing these kids. That's what it's all about, you know, and they, you know, again, they embody what we've been doing and trying to be us. We talk about us all the time and as a team, and that's something that Coach Randall started years ago, and then, you know, that's what we break it down on is us, and you know, we just kind of use that same mindset into football, and now it's in, you know, it's football, it's basketball, it's baseball, and these guys are great teammates that are sitting here, and they've got great teammates that are sitting at home watching this right now. And just really excited about the season. Can't wait to see what these kids do. I think it's going to be a fun year.
Thank you, Coach, and thank you, White Plains. That'll end this segment of the Media Day. We appreciate y'all. We're going to take a 5-minute break. We will have the Ohatchee Indians on the stage when we get back. Thank you so much.
Testing. Oh, that last one was nice. Testing. I got it. I think you got it. Did you have to go all the way up? Find your name. Glad to have y'all. You'll have to go up the side of the side thing. Glad y'all here. Kiss it.
my DB privileges. Huh? I'll do that.
He tell you I'm coming to you for the opening statement.
The whole time. He said the whole time.
Yeah, we'll just keep asking
Yeah.
him stuff.
Yeah. He's very great. Jeez, I gotta get this thing.
I don't have to lean way.
That's what I'm trying to do. Just get it close. Get right there. Yeah.
That's my first thing. That's like my go-to. I didn't ask him to answer a question about that.
So how we're just gonna play the game and it's just gonna be like, hello.
Yes.
These things are recorded, so I cover my mouth.
All right. We now want to welcome to the Cooper Chevrolet stage at the 2024 Calhoun County Football Media Day, the Ohatchee Indians. Ohatchee competes in 3A Region 6. The head coach of the Indians is Chris Finley. Today, Coach Finley has brought with him senior quarterback Jake Robertson and senior wide receiver Colby Hester. Coach Finley, we'll start with your opening comments.
Yes, sir. Hey, I just want to tell you guys I appreciate you having us here. Appreciate everything you do for all our kids in this area. This is a good place to play and coach high school football for, all the things that you guys do for us. Highlighting our kids and all that kind of stuff. We're excited about this year. This is, going to be one of the most experienced and oldest teams that we put on the field since I've been at Ohatchee. We're going to have about 20 seniors, and I've been at Ohatchee 11 years. I've never seen more than about 13 or 14. So this is a year we've been looking forward to for a long time. We're really excited about it. Led by two guys I brought here with me today. Jake Robertson, our quarterback. Colby Hester, wide receiver, DB. Both these guys have played for us for a long time. In some capacity, these guys have been on the field since about the 9th grade. And we can say that about a lot of the guys, a lot of our seniors this year. We've been counting on these guys for 3-4 years now straight. So, it's nice to bring them all together, get them here for their senior year, and everybody's excited about it. So, I just, again, thank you guys for having us, and we really appreciate it.
Let's take some questions.
Yeah, Chris, how much did Jesse's injury impact last season, and then who steps in for that production this year?
Well, see, that's the thing. It was huge, and your second question kind of answers how big it was losing him. Last year it took maybe 4 or 5 different guys for all the things that he did. He started off at tight end for us on offense, and then he'd play some quarterback. We'd direct snap him the ball. He'd play some running back. We'd hand him the ball there. He'd split out at wide receiver, and we'd throw him the ball some. He was our punter. He was, a kick returner, a punt returner. All the things he did, it took 4 or 5 guys to replace it. And once you start doing that, it really hits your depth. If you got one guy being able to do all those jobs, then you get some other guys that are getting rest while he's doing those jobs. Well, then if you got to replace it with 5 guys, that's 5 guys that are either now playing on both sides of the ball, or now we're having to throw on special teams to do something. So it really hurt our depth losing a player like that. And to me this year, the big thing is, like I said earlier, was we've got a lot of experience now. We've got a lot of depth now. We've got a lot of older kids now. So it's going to be less of a hit this year because a lot of guys are going to grow into that. And the depth is there to handle an injury now better than these past couple of years.
This is for Colby and Jake. Guys, talk about when you found out that Coach said he was going to bring you to Media Day, and what does that mean to you to be able to represent the Indians here today? Colby?
I took it as an honor because he thought of me as one of the leaders on the team and had this responsibility of speaking for my team on their behalf, and it just meant the world to me.
Like Colby said, it's an honor to be able to represent our team with a bunch of seniors. Basically, we're all leaders on this team, so for him to think of us as, some of the main two and be able to come up here and represent Ohatchee football is a very good honor.
Wonder how many passes you two have thrown and caught from each other over the last year.
More than you can count, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, even our whole life, even before varsity football, we've always thrown together, so it's a really good connection between us.
We've noticed and heard about the success recently at the 7-on-7, which, for the last 10 years, Ohatchee has just run the ball, and wear you out. So Coach, talk about first, and then the players talk about what we might see a little bit different this year.
Well, we still want to have our same mentality. We want to be physical. We want to be able to run the ball, and that's going to be from day one. We want to be able to control the line of scrimmage, to run the ball like we have for the past 10, 11 years. But you want to also be able to use your talent, and looking at the talent that we have this year, it would behoove us to maybe open it up a little bit, and with a quarterback like Jake, with receivers like Colby, being able to make somebody stack the box against our run game, and then be able to exploit that, by spreading it out some is something we hope we can do. And yeah, we were able to do some 7-on-7s this year, and I thought that really benefited us to be able to do. That's something, you just had Coach Jennings up here. In all our years at Ohatchee, we had kind of lobbied to go to some of those, even though we were running the ugly eagle and we're running the ball 95% of the time. We thought, hey, defensively at least, we can get a good look and let our defense get some competition in over the summer. So we finally just bit the bullet and scheduled some of them this year, and I think it really helped us.
This is for the players. Guys, looking at your schedule, you guys I hope you've seen who you might be playing, but tell me, is there one school you're looking forward to playing that maybe you didn't get what you wanted to last year, or somebody that you just really want to see where your level of competitiveness is? And I'd like to hear from both of y'all on that, because
we're not calling anybody out up here.
No, don't call any names, but if you got a friend on another team, you can't wait to lay a lick on them, you go ahead. But what do you think?
Just anybody. I mean, I know we started 4-0, and it didn't end so well, but this year I just wanted to take 4-0 all the way to the end and just finish it completely. And so we have no regret at the end of this year, whether we could have done better or not. We know for sure that we played as hard as we could and got the outcome we wanted.
I'd say the teams we're looking forward to playing the most, these new teams on our schedule that we have never seen before, New Hope, Locust Ford, JB Pennington, all them. It's going to be fun, get to see some new faces. Usually you play the same people through your whole high school career, so now we get to see some people we've never seen before.
Chris, just how different a kind of quarterback is Jake from what we're used to seeing at Ohatchee over the years, and then Jake, given that you are a different kind of quarterback than Ohatchee's had through the years, I guess what made you want to stay there and do what you do, considering it's been a running team for all these years?
He's much different than the guys that we played before. So you think back to when we first got into the Ugly Eagle, probably 10 years ago. We went through a run of three quarterbacks. We had Taylor Eubanks, who started at middle linebacker for us also. We had Grayson Allward, who started at safety for us also. We had Eli Ennis, who started at middle linebacker and now starts at middle linebacker at Nichols State in Louisiana. So we've typically had just, and that's what you do in the Ugly Eagle. You got the best athlete on your team. You put at quarterback, and you're not going to throw the ball much. When you throw the ball, it's going to be that you've got 11 guys in the box and you've suckered them in with a play action and you just pop it over their head. But Jake is a full different quarterback from those guys, in that we know that if we wanted to, we could go out there and throw it with Jake 45 times if that's what we wanted to do. Like I said before, we want to keep our identity as a physical run the ball football team, but we know that we've got that in our back pocket too.
I'll say we'll maybe stay here at Ohatchee. We had mostly run quarterbacks before, but I saw what we had in my class and all that. We had skilled players that can catch the ball and run the ball and stuff like that. So I knew, eventually our coaches would realize and see, we got the guys to do it, and it'll happen for us. So, that made me stay.
This one's for Colby and Jake. Obviously, every football season starts the same, but y'all are both seniors this year, so it's got to feel, different than previous years. Describe that difference and what y'all are looking forward to most about getting out of your senior year.
It's a little different, being the older guy this year, but I'm looking forward to it because, usually you look up those guys, but this year we're that guy. So, we get to inspire the younger class and we get to, have fun. It's our senior year, it's all about us now.
Like you said, we're now the older people with the seniors of the school, so the younger kids are looking, what will they do for us? Like, maybe we want to leave a good impression on them, so they want to be like us and grind hard every day and see it pay off. It is different, absolutely, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Coach, talk just a moment, if you will, about the way you've settled in. This is what, year 3, year 4 for you, and I know things get a little bit better. The deeper, like we talked with Coach Jennings, this is year 2 for him. You know, it's so much different from year 1 to year 2 as a head coach. But what are some things that you've really taken joy now in coaching, now that the dust is settled, that you try to enjoy? What part of coaching do you enjoy the best, I guess is what I'm asking?
I think it's just the day-to-day. It's the spending time with the guys, and you know, whether that's practice or in the weight room or wherever else, it's building relationships with our guys. And you know, if you follow me or my wife on any kind of social media, you'll see like once Saturdays in the fall hit, like we spend a lot of our Saturdays in the fall going to see guys that have played for us before that are somewhere else playing now, whether it's Dominique or Eli, or you know, we've gone and watched Troy Galloway. I don't know if anybody remembers Troy. Troy played football for us, and he wrestles in Iowa now. We've gone and watched him wrestle. So to me, the most fun part and the most rewarding part to me is building relationships with the guys that you know is going to last, you know, beyond when they graduate, beyond them playing for me, or you know, just their high school career. It's, you know, those kind of relationships last, you know, for a lifetime, you hope.
Colby, I'll ask you, what's it like to play with a quarterback like Jake, that, you know, doing what you do?
Oh, it's very rewarding, especially when you love running really far, and you have a quarterback that can throw it that far and hit you every time. So it's just, I really like it.
Question here for the players. I know he's sitting right there, but between you two, but tell us a little bit about, have you ever seen Coach really get upset? He seems so mild-mannered to the rest of us, but what's one thing he does that you're like, whoa, he's got my attention now?
Quit smiling. When he gets a straight face, you know it's game time and time to be serious. There is time to play, but there's also time to get the work done and be serious.
Yeah, talking about what Colby's talking about, you know, he's got a look to him that, you know, he could be cutting up with you, but you do something that he don't like, you know, his smile will drop and he'll just stare at you and you're like, okay, I need to straighten up.
Any other questions here, guys?
Yeah, we got time for one more question out here. If not, I'll ask Coach, because of the success that Ohatchee's had in the past, does that put any added pressure on you, or are you just doing what you do, and these guys, it's a system and it's a process, and that's what we're doing? What do you think about it?
I mean, it's a little of both, but you know, nobody's going to put more pressure on me than I put pressure on me. You know, and yes, coming from, you know, us being successful, but you know, I'd like to say I had a part in that too. You know, I've been here for a long time, so. But yeah, there is pressure, and most of it is pressure that I put on myself. But also, like you said, this is just a process. We do what we do. You know, it's a program that we're hoping to, you know, continue, you know, having success with, and you know, we're going to work right. We're going to do things the right way. We're going to work hard. We're going to, you know, show up every day and be organized and all those kind of things. You know, we think we run a successful program.
One more question, Coach, right here. We asked Coach Jennings the same thing, because this is a reclassification year. Back in the spring, or you know, late fall, everybody thought that White Plains May would move down to 3A, and it was almost a shoe-in at Ohatchee. But based on the numbers from 2 years ago to today, you all would drop down to 2A,
right.
and everything stayed the same.
Right.
And like Coach Jennings said, there's quality football at any level. You gotta compete no matter what level you're at. What were your thoughts when the reclassification came out?
You know, it was a surprise. We did assume that we might drop down, but you know, it is what it is. It's, you know, you're still going to have tough football games week in, week out. I think, you know, this year our region is going to be especially tough. I think you know, that's the one thing you first see is the region, and the region here is going to be especially tough. But to me, it's going to be a very fun region because it's very local. It's really local. So games are going to be tough week in and week out. But gates are going to be good. Rivalries are going to be good. You know, I see Weaver coming in. We haven't played Weaver. It's been a few years since we played Weaver. Now that's going to be a rivalry that we used to play that now we're back in the region with. So, you know, we're excited for it. We realize how tough it's going to be, but we think it'll be a fun region to be in.
Blake, you guys probably play in the best local region in any classification in our area because there's so many local teams involved in it. Mm-hmm. And I think this year maybe that region is more wide open than it's ever been before, with not, you know, a lot of parity top to bottom. Some good football teams could wind up being home after Halloween.
Right.
Talk a little bit about the region and how you see it this year, and what are the marquee games in your mind?
I think every week's going to be a marquee game. I think it's like I was just saying. It's, it's going to be a fun region because of the local aspect to it, because of all the close proximity games. You're going to have short bus trips and really good gates, but yeah, a lot of parity, and you said there may be some good teams. There's definitely going to be good teams sitting at home, when the playoffs get started out of our region.
One final question for the players, and then, David, you can ask the last one. But Kobe and Jake, what's your favorite part about football? Is it the practice, running through the banner on a Friday night, or being in the locker room after a win and everybody's happy and hugging? What would be, Jake, what would be your favorite?
I'd say my favorite would be, being with all my friends. If you don't play football, you go home after school and you don't really do anything. You don't really see anybody until the next day at school. But when I'm with my boys, we're at practice till like 5:30. And then, on Friday nights, we spend basically until midnight with each other. And then you got all summer together. So I say hang out with my friends and, putting in the work with them.
For me, it's everything you mentioned. It's getting the work when nobody's seeing. It's hanging out with my friends until late nights. And it's creating relationships that'll last probably forever. And I just love the energy of football, the contact, and just the energy that goes into it on every Friday night when you hit that banner, and then when you first kick off at 7 o'clock and everybody's screaming ready for it, and then you score that touchdown, and then it just goes on from there.
Okay, Coach, I know as we're winding up, I want you to have your final thoughts, but I would like to offer you a chance. I know you brought two of you guys that lead that team, but if there's somebody you'd like to mention, I want you to be able to do that, and then we'd like some closing thoughts for you and the media day and how you do.
I mean, yeah, the list can go on and on with guys to mention. Like I said, we've got a really big senior class of a lot of guys that have been playing for us for a long time. Nate Jones is one that comes to mind that I had a really tough time. With these three, they'll tell you we had a discussion. The four of us with Nate on who we would bring, and Nate wasn't able to come. So, so it made the decision easy. I was going to have a really tough time. I was deciding between the three of those guys. But there's Owen Abernathy that's been starting at center for us for a few years. Tristan Kiker's been playing on both sides of the ball for us for a few years. Deacon Ingles, a senior that's coming up. I hate to kind of list because I'm not going to be able to list everybody, but we've got a lot of guys that we've counted on for multiple years here, and we're really excited about that group. I just want to say thank you guys again. We really appreciate all you do for us, and this is a really fun event that we get to come up here and do every year, and it creates excitement. Like I said, this is a great place to play and coach because, the things that go on in this area and the excitement that is brought by stuff like this, and the spotlight that's put on our guys. And then I know, the scholarships and things like that come out of this kind of stuff too. So just want to say appreciate everything you guys do for us.
Thank you so much. Ohatchee High School.
Thank you.
Good luck, you guys.
Thank you.
We're going to take 5 minutes, and on the stage will be Weaver Bearcats.
Yeah, better not laugh. Okay.
Yeah, when we cue in the coaches don't make some we'll start having questions come up and we'll start asking y'all all three of us. And when it's over, you'll take your placard with you, so your girlfriend's gonna have a souvenir. Okay? And then I'll have a little momentum for y'all, over for y'all when y'all get done, carry home. You can stick it on the dash of your car.
Yes, sir.
Fun with it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It'll be fun.
Okay, we're back with the Calhoun County 2024 Media Day by the Calhoun County Quarterback Club. I would like to make mention before we go to the coaches and the players that we sure would like to have you be a part of the Quarterback Club this year. We have some amazing speakers coming. You get to know these coaches and you get to participate in 4 scholarships given to 4 of the players in Calhoun County that play football. We offer an opportunity for them to apply for that scholarship. We discuss it, and we would love to have you come and be a part of it this year. Just reach out to one of the board members if you know them, or go to the Calhoun County Quarterback page on Facebook and send a message to us and let us know you want to be a part, and we will get you all the information. It's every Monday night. You get a meal. It's about the best deal in town. You get a meal, and you get an opportunity to see a great speaker and get to know some of these players better. But we now would like to welcome to the Cooper Chevrolet stage on the 2024 Calhoun County High School Football Media Day, the Weaver Bearcats. Weaver competes in a 3A Region 6. The head coach of the Bearcats is Ken Kofer, and today Coach Kofer has brought with him senior quarterback defensive back Caden Gooden and senior wide receiver and defensive back Kashawn Allen. Coach Kofer, we'll start with a few opening comments and then we'll take some questions.
Yeah, hey, glad to be here. This is a great event. It's always fun, especially when you get to bring 2 characters beside me right here. It's also great to be a Weaver Bearcat. God has sure blessed me. I said that last year. It was a blessing. I got 2 great administrators that just happened to be right back there also. Glad that they're here. They are full-time supporters of Weaver Athletics and couldn't ask for a better situation. And just glad to be here. Thank you for having us.
We'll take some questions now.
Ken, that looks like a new helmet look. What was the thought behind the white helmet look this year? And then Caden and Keyshawn, what do you think about it?
Well, I'll tell you what, never had a white helmet wherever I've been. Thought it'd look pretty, thought it would look good. I'm going to be honest, though, I sure do like the black helmet as well. If we can ever build this thing up the way that we want to, we're going to have both. I just think the black helmet's a little bit of tradition right here, but we wanted to bring a new look right here and come out with a new look this year, if that makes any sense.
This question's for you players. Coach Kofer seems like a tough guy. What has he meant to you guys in the time that you've known him, and what does it mean? What does he expect out of your leadership on the team?
Well, he's very, 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 very intense. He doesn't like slacking off. He thinks you go full speed every time, which I agree with. But full speed every time, put in the work, and never slack off.
Kind of like Keyshawn said, he don't want you slacking off in practice, because if you slack off in practice, then you will slack off in the game and stuff too. So he just pushes us to be the best we can and the greatest we can on the field and off the field.
Do you guys appreciate the fact that you're seniors this year and you got younger guys looking up to you? What does that put on your shoulders on and off the field?
It makes me feel like I'm doing something right. You know, having little kids look up to me, having people ask me questions how to get better myself and how I do things and how I execute things and asking me for help and stuff. So it just makes me feel like a great teammate and just a great person overall.
Kind of basically like he said, it's an honor for the kids to look up to me, because it shows me that everything I do, they paying attention to. So I got to make sure I do what's right so they can learn from me, and then they won't do what's wrong and say, like, he did this, so I can do it too. But that's not how it works.
To Caden and Keyshawn, what do you think about the white helmet?
I like it. It's something different. I never wore a white helmet before, so other than that, I feel like it'd go good with our uniforms.
Oh, yeah, I love the helmet. It's great. I mean, yeah, like he said, I've never worn a white helmet, and I just think it looks good. I like it better than the black helmet.
Question right here, guys, over to your left. As long as I've followed high school football in Calhoun County, Weaver has always been known for speed. I mean, they've always been guys on that team that could just fly. You two be honest with me, who's the fastest guy on the team?
Me.
He's lying. It's me. It's most definitely me.
I figured it would be you too, but seriously, do y'all after practice, during practice, do y'all get after it?
Can I jump in right here?
Yes, sir, Coach.
Well, both of them, they both have different game speed. It turns on a little bit faster. And as much as I love this dude, this guy is the reigning 110 hurdles back-to-back state champion in track and the 300-meter state champion. But this dude did come in second in the 300-meter hurdles in state too. So they're both legitimately fast.
Great. Question.
Coach,
yes, sir.
Went 4-6 last year, which was a big improvement for Weaver. Could you talk about what you see as the next step?
Oh, man, winning them all. I mean, shoot, I don't know why anybody gets into this game to coach or play and you don't have that mindset going to practice each and every day. And people will say, well, Coach, are you realistic? Yeah, I'm realistic. We should win every game. I mean, they just talked about how, in practice and intense and stuff like that. We do that for a reason. We're not preparing our kids to play on a Friday night if we don't push them hard in practice. The game should be easy, period. I just got through talking to in an interview out there and talking about, I thought Welborn and Randolph County last year kind of out-physicaled us a little bit, but our kids played to the end. That's awesome in year one. They didn't quit. They kept going after them. But there were 4 other games that we legitimately had a chance to win, and it was close. And to me, we should have won. I think they would say the same thing. I can't speak for them, but I think they would say the same. We're here to build a program, not just one year of wonder and just make improvements, if that makes any sense. We want to build a program, and we want to take it to the next level. And shoot, man, I'm happy that we're playing tough people each and every week. It's playoff atmosphere. That's what it's supposed to be like. So, yes, sir. Hope I answered your question.
Ken, I'm not going to talk to you about speed because I know the weight room's where your heart's at. Which one of these two are dogs in the weight room?
Well, this is what's good about both, and this is why they're here. And I'm going to say this first before I speak on them, is these two guys are on a leadership committee named by all the coaches, and there's one of them, there's 3 kids, and there's one of them not here because we were only supposed to bring 2, but Caden Thornton, I want to mention him simply because that's an unreal kid that plays his tail off, and he's one of the top wrestlers in the state, but he is dependable. Couldn't ask for enough out of Caden Thornton. I wish I could have him up here too. But talking about weight room is, places I've been, you get 2 athletes like this right here, and basketball season come. They are year round, so their football go right into basketball, go right into track. And I'm thinking these dudes are going to slack off after football season. And neither one of them did. And if this one was to slack, this one goes ahead and a lift, and he can't stand it. So they compete. That's what you want in the weight room. That's what you want in life. They're going to compete, and they can't stand if one outdoes the other. So, and they'll get after it in practice every once in a while and talk a little smack, and it's fun to watch. I had to video that. It's fun to do. But when you get 2 competitors like this, and good old Caden Thornton as well. It's a great place, and it's a great year.
Question right here. Caden, I seem to remember that when you were in the 7th grade, you played like 60 snaps on defense against a really good Piedmont team. How have you changed and matured over the 5 years that you played to this point?
Since 7th grade, the game was different. It's like 7th grade, I was nervous and stuff because that was my first time as a 7th grader playing on varsity. So over the years, it's like it came to me, like being able, like people hitting me, and then the game speed and stuff just came to me over the years.
Keyshawn, how did the national track meets that you anticipated didn't go for you?
It went pretty well, but I mean, not the result I wanted to. I obviously wanted to win, but it was a great experience. Hopefully, be back next year and compete for that first place spot.
One question right here, Coach Kofer. Last year, you found out a lot about some local rivalries. What impressed you the most with football in Calhoun County and this region? Coming back to it.
Yes, sir. Well, I grew up a North Georgia boy, but I always wanted to go to South Georgia. Well, South Georgia is a lot different than this area. Okay, speed everywhere, spreading out offenses. It's a lot different. When I came back up here, when I came to Heflin, and then over here to Weaver, it's what it does, and I mean this in the best way, I assure you. It is old school football, smash mouth, like when we played. And you can still be physical down there in South Georgia, and South Alabama may be the same way, I don't know, but it's a throwback to just hard-nosed football. And if you're not physical, you're going to get your tail whooped on a Friday night. It's just going to happen. So these kids, I didn't get started until the second week of June last year. So we were trying to, brainstorm and find ideas of how we were going to get these kids to win ball games and something that they could believe in. And I had one game against Randolph County, and I'll brag on this dude over here, is we tried to spread it out a little bit more because I thought that was a better game plan. And we're down a couple of touchdowns at halftime, and Caden said, Coach, no disrespect, but can we go back to horsemen? And that's basically just a four-back type set. And some people, count it as a single wing type stuff from back in the day. And I said, absolutely. When your quarterback says that he wants to go to more of a run and smash mouth, that means everybody else believes in it too. And when you got this guy and his brother Junior on each side of the ball to throw to, two athletes, and you can run the ball, it's nice. And that's one thing that we have to make sure that we do this year is run the football and are physical. So we're trying to get our running backs into this game plan, because if we can't run the ball, the stuff on the outside doesn't work. So the OTAs and stuff that we've done this summer have been all about us getting a little bit more physical. But it's a smash mouth brand of football up here.
It's refreshing to hear you call this type football coming from outside old school smash mouth.
And that's a compliment, believe me.
Right. And to me and others in this room, you come across as an old school smash mouth coach.
Yes, sir.
Tell us, what do you expect off the field from your young men that play for you?
Well, I will say this. Back in the South Georgia days, we were more spread it out, throw it, but we tried to be physical. I've just been raised that way because my dad was a former head football coach, and if you're not physical, you're going to, it's not going to look good on a Friday. But what was your question?
My question is,
I take detours all the time.
Yeah, what do you expect from these young men off the field, maybe in the classroom and at home with their mom and dad? What do you expect out of them?
Well, how in the world are you going to coach old school football and you can't be old school disciplinarian and all that? But I do know I get on these guys' nerves sometimes, but I don't want them to make the same mistakes that I made when I was younger, and I made plenty. And I had two great parents, a former head football coach, and my mom's still teaching at 80 years old. And I don't want them to make mistakes driving. I don't want them to take their academics where they want to do things in college. This guy wants to run and track in college. This guy wants to play college football right here. I don't care what they play, or even if they do play, I just want them to be successful in life. If they go into the military, they're the best electrician, plumber. It doesn't matter to me as long as they're a good daddy and good husband and they're a good Christian, period. So that's what my head coach wanted me to be back in the day, and we stay on them, and we do a little push-up thing during the games, but we have to do that for grades, and we get a little exercise, so to say, if we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing in the classroom or in life. And, hey, I had a grandmama call me last week, and she needed some help, and I'm going to help grandmama. Because she's got a young man right there that she's having an issue with. And my mom had issues with me back in the day. And I remember what my head coach did to me. We can't do that to what the kids today. or say that. But I'm gonna help Grandma in every way that I can. Our purpose in this life is to make better people. That's our purpose. Period.
Coach, we won't go over X's and O's today, but I met you a month before as you got here, at the media day, and you'd just come in and we talked about some things about the discipline of teams and things like that. Do you attribute anything, or do you see Weaver changing in that respect? I know it's what you want to do, but is there any things you can pinpoint, or is it toughness? Is it hard work? Anything you can add to that?
Well, I think the way that we tried to come in and tried to practice, we want to practice fast and physical. I think that's, there's a lot of ways to practice, but that's the way that I want to be able to do things. But re-say again what you were talking about.
You're talking about turning the tide. We talked about a little bit about discipline at Weaver and how things are going. Do you see that?
I do, but here's a weakness that I see, and I'll be blunt honest, because I want them to take it personal, and I want our kids at Weaver on the team to take it personal as well, is when people start talking a little trash to us, when things get a little bit physical, we have to be mentally tough. And we have to quit all the yeah and stuff like that. When talking smack a little bit, and this falls into discipline now, when talking smack a little bit goes out of line, you can you lose your mental edge. And I think that this has been happening here, and it's not what I like. I don't mind that people talk a little trash on our team, but you got to back it up, and it can't be the number one thing. We got to play the game. So when you're talking about things that we need to work on, that's what we need to work on right there, is that. So, but it's learning how to practice, being physically and mentally tough, being better citizens. I got a team full of those cats, and I couldn't be more proud.
Let's get one more question.
Ken, talk a little bit about the region. It seems to be where there's more parity in it this year from top to bottom, and maybe if you win a game you're not supposed to win, maybe you find yourself playing for a region title.
Oh yeah, I think anybody can. I'm going to preach this. I think our whole coaching staff will. I think our 12 seniors will. We're going to go one game at a time. You can't look ahead to anybody. You cannot. We're going 1 week at a time. We're going to practice on that game right there. But I can't say enough, and you probably need to ask them this question. I can't say enough about how excited I am to be playing these teams. People say tough schedule. I just heard Coach Finley talking about it too. Somebody may be sitting at home. Well, we're not looking forward to sitting at home. We want to be one of those teams that gets in there. But I've seen teams go 6-4, 5-5, and make a run and win a state championship. You play tough people, you're going to get better. But we're going to worry about us. We can't worry about anybody else. But again, I've said this, but I want to play in a playoff atmosphere every week.
Being that, I want you to give us some final comments, what you think about this event maybe and what it means. But before you do that, I'd like to give you both your players a chance. What does it mean when he came to you and said, we're coming here today? What did that put in your head for you guys?
I mean, I got a little nervous because, cameras and all these questions and stuff. But, you're going to have to do this a lot, like he says all the time, when you practice as a job interview. And you have to show up and execute every time you show up to practice and the games. So, I'm a little nervous, but, I just got to push through it.
Yeah, I was nervous at first, but once, you start talking and stuff, you get used to it. So all your nerves just go away. It's kind of like an in-game situation, the beginning of the kickoff. Beginning of the game, before the game, you nervous, you got the jitters and stuff, but once the game starts happening, then everything just go away.
First play, that's right. Yeah, and I'm sitting here looking at this helmet, and it means something special, and I don't know if the camera can get it. And it's not just the helmet, but it's what's on the front right here is a family sticker, and that means something to me because I didn't really grow up with a big family, so I need these kids just as much as they need me. It is a big deal to me, and I don't use family as a cliche. And some people break it down and what each letter stands for. That's not what I'm into. I'm into family, period. These guys will be a part of my family for the rest of my life, and I want to be a part of theirs. It's huge for me. And, I've said it at the beginning in the opening statements. I'm glad to be a Weaver Bearcat, man. I'm blessed with players, administration, school system, people I work with each and every day. Can't say enough about them. And hey, in this event, you wanted me to say something about that
please.
too. This is awesome. This is awesome, and the way that it's organized is done very well. It's impressive.
Thank you, Coach, and we want to thank the Weaver Bearcats. Good luck to your season this year. We're going to take about 5 minutes, and we'll be back with Pleasant Valley Raiders.
Yes, sir. Yeah, don't say no bad words. These two right here.
Check, 1, 2. 2 minutes till Pleasant Valley.
Yes, sir. That's awesome. Yeah. Now, you don't put a hole in that and put a necklace and let your girlfriend wear it too. Yeah, yeah. All right.
All right, good, thank you. Jim, you let me know when you're ready to come back. You go ahead, we're good. No, they already served. Yeah, because someone was leaving, see, so they. Welcome back in to the 2024 Calhoun County Quarterback Club's High School Football Media Day. My name is Danny Shears. It's an honor and privilege to serve on the board of directors here at the Quarterback Club. And before we bring up our next school, let me take a moment and thank Jim Jacobs and Jacobs Media. Of course, we've got media partners all inside this room, out in the main dining area set up, but each year Jim sets up his equipment and live stream on all of his platforms this high school media day. And if my numbers are correct, for the first 5 years, I think there's been over 10,000 views each year of this particular day that we bring forward. So you've got people all over Northeast Alabama and beyond that get to see high school football media day, either live or they go back over the weekend or the weeks to come and watch it. So we appreciate that partnership with Jacobs Media. We now want to welcome to the Cooper Chevrolet stage at the 2024 Calhoun County High School Football Media Day, the Pleasant Valley Raiders. Pleasant Valley competes in 2A Region 7. The head coach of the Raiders is Coach Jonathan Nix. Today, Coach Nix has brought with him senior tight end, defensive end Noah Johnson, and also junior linebacker Braden Papa. Coach Nix, we will start with your opening comments.
Hey, we're just excited to be here. We would just want to thank y'all for doing this event. Such a great time to be able to bring athletes like Noah and Braden up here and brag on their leadership and what they've done in the off season. Both these men are just high character guys, great leaders on the team. They do everything the coaches ask, hard workers, and just really excited about both of them. Noah, was kind of late to coming out to football, but once he came out for football, he fell in love with it, and the team really buys into what he brings to the table. He's a big tight end for us. Also, we use him some on the defensive line. And this coming up year, maybe it's where we don't need him as much on one side, and he can start striving to be a little more elite on the other side. And so but Noah's a great leader, and Braden Papa, what he brings to the team is just positivity. I mean, this guy, every day he's bringing some kind of positive energy, and he makes no bones about his faith. I love how he just steps out and leads on that. And, and I think he's one of the main reasons. One thing I want to talk just first and foremost, like we've had this summer, we've had 6 kids get saved, whether it's the FCA camp where we had 2 kids. Then the other night we go to a team function at Saks. We had 4 more kids that gave their life to God. And, and I think Braden's one of the main reasons for that. We've got other great teammates on that, but whether it's leading Bible study or how he leads. And, I just think the spiritual growth has really been led by Braden and some of the other players. So real proud of both of these guys for this opportunity. Looking forward to this season. Was able to add some coaches to the staff. This is the first time since I've been there that we're going to have a 6-man varsity staff, which is huge. So we're going to be able to split offense and defense on coaching. Then each one of those other coaches would be the helper at that other position if we're focusing on one side of the ball. But was able to add Scotty Ward. He's going to be doing the defense. And then Darren Parker is going to be a defensive back coach. And then Coach Muncher's back. We're moving him from outside backers to D-line. So them 3 will be doing the defense. And then on the offensive side, Coach Turner and Coach Caldwell and myself will be doing that. Coach Caldwell does our O-line. Coach Turner is going to be more passing game coordinator, working with that. And then I'll be doing quarterbacks and running backs. So real excited about that. Then we got, Coach Hamby and Coach Preston will be with us on Friday night. So even on Friday nights, we're going to have an 8-man staff. So, I think the little details like that's going to help in these ball games, making sure that, we're ready to do what we need to do in this region.
Very good. Thank you, Coach. We'll open it up to questions now.
To Jonathan, Noah, and Braden, what did making the playoffs last year do just to goose the off season, to make Pleasant Valley dream bigger maybe, and what's the next step?
So, I would like to put first, all the glory goes to the Lord, and I just think that's our that's our goal next year too, is to win that game, and not come up short, and just strive to be the best we can each practice, each day, every single day. And,
Yeah, like Papa said, I think winning the game or winning a playoff game is what we're looking forward to next. Like, we got to the playoffs, but now we want to host a playoff and win a playoff. That's our goal for next season.
And we've talked about that a lot too. Like even in our, sometimes you start believing what you hear if you're not careful. And so that's something that we really talk to all of our programs about. Baseball was 1 out away from making it to postseason, and and that's something that they're working tough next year to finish stronger. But besides that, every one of our male programs made postseason. And if baseball would have made it, it'd been the first time in school history that every male program at our school made postseason, and our females had a great year also. So I'm a firm believer that if you start winning at one thing, it should breed into the next if you're all buying into unity. Our top 3 grades are only 185 kids, so we need everybody to do everything, and that's the ingredient at Pleasant Valley is all of our athletes have to play multiple sports, and they have to buy into each other. And if they do that, then all our programs win. And you look at over the history of the program, and when the programs had the most success is when they're pulling everybody together. And so, that's where I think it's up to each coach as a head coach and that to buy into each other, because Noah might be a phenomenal pitcher. And then when he first came out to football, he wasn't near as good at defensive end as he is at pitching. But what that defensive end taught him is, hey, you have just a second to go. And sometimes, in baseball, you can overanalyze things. Well, there's no overanalyzing when you're on the D line. When the ball snaps, you better move. So all your thinking goes, and so each sport can help the other. And so I think that, that's one of the things that we're trying to drive all of our programs to doing that. And the more we do that, I think the more success we'll have at Pleasant Valley.
Question right here. Coach, what year will this be for you this fall at Pleasant Valley?
Pretty sure it's year 10.
Year 10?
Yeah.
Obviously 10 years is a long time. Talk about last fall. We've always heard that any high school, when football has a winning season, it just helps out with everything, with academics, with discipline issues. Did you see anything like that? That usually the mindset, ever how the football team's going in that first semester is generally how the school goes. Could you see anything like that last year?
There's definitely. I mean, volleyball, they won a state championship. And so, and football's, first time in school history, they start 4-0. And the big thing, we had some key injuries early in the year, early in the season, and and it kind of took a little belief out of us for a little bit, and so we had to kind of regroup with that. And so, because I think a lot of times a kid, whatever they're hearing, this kid goes down, so there's no way you're going to win any more ball games. This kid's not doing this, so but this team is really bought into, hey, we got to buy into each other. And I think some of them saw it front hand last year when some key positions went down, and all of a sudden we had to put 2 new offensive guards in there that really have never taken a snap before. And by the end of the season, those 2 guys were extremely good. But I think 90% of that was 2 factors. Number one, people's building them up each day. They're telling them, hey, you're not where you need to be right now, but keep working hard. You can do this. This team believes in you. Your coaches believe in you. And then the kid has to accept that and go work hard. And I think that was a combination of some of those freshmen being able to step up last year is just the positive energy that was putting into them. And then them also being able to handle some of the things, all right, it's not going my way, but how am I not going to give up and keep driving?
Jonathan, year 10, just thoughts about coaching in this county for 10 years, and then also just what gold have you found at Pleasant Valley?
Coaching in the county is great. I mean, I feel like Calhoun County is one of the best counties around for as athletics. I mean, look at some of the programs that we offer here, some of the success, some of the veteran coaches. I mean, there's so many strong coaches in this county. So and it's the longest that I've ever been anywhere. Most of the time before that it was 3 to 5, but I mean, it's a goal. I mean, you can win a playoff game at Pleasant Valley, and I think there's going to be a team, and I'm hoping it's this team right here. But good teams are led by players, and coaches are there leading with them. But you have to take on that initiative as a player to make sure that I'm doing the extra things. I'm doing the stuff it takes to do that, and so I've seen a lot of that this off season. I've seen from January to May, I mean, we had something like 110 pounds added to our maxes, and that was consistency in the weight room. I would say if you weigh some of them, like you take a Braxton Salster who played last year at 160 or so, he's 190 now. Jonathan Hanson on the D-line played at 180, 185. He's 210 now. I mean, we've got several kids. Braden's put on 20 pounds of muscle or so. And so the only way you can do that is consistent hard work. And there's no magic pill. There's no secret ingredient to, what does Pleasant Valley need to do to get to the next step? The answer is consistently work hard, and I think in the school year we were doing that. In the summer, you always got these distractions. So for one, I'm excited when school starts. School brings routine. Routine is good for everybody, especially if you have consistent routine. And so those are some things that, excited about this season, and excited about this region.
My question's for Noah and Braden. How does it feel that Coach Nick selected you guys to come up and speak with us today, and what does it mean to y'all to be representing Pleasant Valley?
I would say it's an honor. Obviously, the only reason that I'm here is by the Lord's grace, and the Lord's mercy and everything. And I'm glad to be able to represent the team and the school, and I'm just ready for this season.
It means a lot for me because this is my second year playing football, and the fact that Coach Nix trusts me to be a leader on this team shows a lot. So I'm really appreciative.
Question right here.
Jonathan, two of the schools that were here, the three before you guys, brought new helmet designs this year, and of course you brought one last year that won you a pretty nice award. Can you talk about just what kind of juice your kids and your school gets out of things like that?
I think so. I mean, they've got the belt here. Actually, it's y'all's booth out there. So it's now a touchdown turnover belt. So whoever gets that, we kind of hang out around their neck and they keep track of that. But I think the helmet brings a community together too. So there's so many, the history of the school. You've had different colors, different designs, different mascots, but one traditional thing, if you look back from the first team, there's always this interlocking PV. And so when we went to this helmet design, we want to do everything we can to bring people together, not divide them. And so, that's kind of why we went to that specific logo on there. It's traditional. And we've had several alumni and different people reach out and still talk about the helmet, so, and the kids like it. And I've noticed that a couple of these new helmet designs look very similar to that.
The 3A region in the area has gotten a lot of preseason attention, but you guys have a pretty solid 2A region to play in this year as well. Talk about your region a little bit.
We do. Everybody in the region we have played before or been in the region with the exception of Pisgah. When we played Pisgah in the playoffs, that was the first time that Pleasant Valley and Pisgah had played each other. And, and now we open up region play with them. And I think that's going to be a key game because it's going to measure, not where we're at in the region, but where are you at and how far you can go in the playoffs, because Pisgah's got a veteran team coming back. I mean, they're the they're one of the strong suits to pick to win the region and and actually win it all with some of the guys they have coming back. So I think that's going to be a key game for us just to see where we're at. I'm glad that game's early in the season, so we can look at that and then go from that. But besides them, I really think that this region's up for grabs for anybody. So I think it's going to be who's playing the best ball by week 5, 6, and so taking each week like it's a week of its own and trying to improve, and and I think that's going to determine the region. We've got our non-regions early, which I'm proud of that, and so we've got week 10 that we're taking off, and we did this for a reason, to say, hey, the expectation is we are going to make postseason. We're not hoping to make postseason. Our expectation this year is we want to host that playoff game. And so that's why we chose week 10. And so I think getting the kids to buy into that, this is the expectation. This is not, something, because last year our seniors said they were in kindergarten the last time that they made postseason. And so, are you doing the things that it takes each week to make sure that this happens this year? And so I'm just excited about the leadership and watching those guys work and compete.
One final question right here, and then we'll wrap it up with your comments. But for the players, what did it mean to you, each one of you, when Coach told you that he was bringing you to media day today? What did it mean to you and your parents? Talk about that when he told you.
I mean, I would say I was shocked in a way because I wasn't even thinking about, anything about media day because I didn't really hear of it. But when he did, I was like, wow, all the hard work and everything just paid off and everything. And I just thanked the Lord right then that he gave me this opportunity to come up here and represent the team and the players and everything like that. So, yeah.
Noah?
Yeah, it means a lot. I've been watching Pleasant Valley since I was little because my cousins and my sister went to Pleasant Valley. So to be representing Pleasant Valley now as a senior just means a lot.
Very good. Coach, your final comments.
Just appreciate the opportunity, and I'll share a quick story with Braden on Braden here. He's the first player that I've ever coached that called me and said, Coach, I'm going to be preaching. Is there any way you can come watch me? And, and I think that's at that age for somebody to be that bold and be able to do that and get up there is just, to me, it's what it's all about in coaching. For him to get up there and do what he did and study and, and put a message in front of a congregation was just, amazing to me. And I really think that a lot of kids on the team, they saw that. Sometimes, the kid nowadays, when you scroll through social media, you don't see anybody putting anything on there about, well, today I got 225 stuck on my chest. Can you record this video? They're only seeing positive. And so sometimes, it's hard for kids to handle any kind of negative because they're just used to seeing positive and they're used to comparing to somebody else. And so that's something that our team's been real hard on this summer about, hey, let's worry about us. Let's worry about what we're doing and how can you build another teammate up. And sometimes that leadership is not an age. A lot of times, like Braxton, he started as a quarterback in the 8th grade. And, and there were seniors that looked up to him for leadership. So leadership is not an age. Leadership is an action. And so both of these guys right here represent that. And we got several other kids on the team that makes it exciting to coach at Pleasant Valley.
I'm sorry, one more thing. Braden, that's very interesting. Could you elaborate on the situation about preaching and where it was and how you got a chance to do that?
The question was, for those viewing at home, elaborate a little bit on on what Coach just talked about.
So it was April 21st, I believe, last April. And I remember a month or two before getting asked because our church at Angel Grove Baptist Church in Jacksonville, it's on 204. If anybody wants to go there, you're welcome. But I remember getting asked a month before because we were just starting up a youth service, a youth-led service each, quarterly by the year. And I remember our youth pastor coming up, our pastor and our youth pastor coming up to me during a mission trip that I was on in Peru. They asked me, do you want to preach? And I said, absolutely. and just preaching. I preached on 1 Samuel 17, 41 through 49, the verse and everything about the story of David and Goliath and how you face your giants and everything, and how David, he was looked at like he was the least in his family. He was the least called upon. I mean, the I can't remember who it was, but they were coming to look for people to face Goliath, I believe, and looked at all David's dad's son and everything, looked at all of his brothers. There was none of them that would do it, and they had one more, and it was David. And David, being out in the field and everything, facing lions, all that stuff, and he always looked to the Lord and everything, and that's where I get a lot of inspiration from David, is because I've always been a smaller person, but when I can look to the Lord for guidance, for wisdom, for strength, that's where I get my stuff from. So.
Well said. Pleasant Valley Raiders, appreciate you guys. Best of luck to you this fall. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we've got the Anniston Bulldogs coming up next here on the 2024 Media Day.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. At this time, we'd like to welcome the Anniston Bulldogs to the Cooper Chevrolet stage. Anniston competes in 4A Region 6. Head coach of the Bulldogs is Rico Jackson. Today, Coach Jackson has brought with him a senior defensive end, Kamar Holder, and his senior center, Andrew Nelson. Coach Jackson, we'll start with your opening comments, Coach.
Just grateful to be here, excited about 2024. I also brought, I like to call him my sensational sophomore. He's sitting in the back, Sharante Bailey. So I wanted him to get the experience of experiencing Media Day. But just excited to be here, ready to get the season going. Excited for these guys, and I know they're ready as well.
Joe, you got a question?
Yeah, Rico, new helmets are a story this year. It looks like you've got one, maybe two new helmets there this year. Tell me about those.
Yeah, I guess you can call it chrome red is a just add a little flavor. That's pretty much it. I mean, we'll wear it every now and then. I try to make the decals like Blast from the Past. Anderson wore the dogs in script, so I like what Coach Nick said about bridging the community together. That kind of bring the old with the new. So we'll wear it every now and then, but we're just the helmet is a helmet. You know, you got to go play football at the end of the day.
Okay, so my first question, Kamar, is for you. What does it mean to you personally that you got selected to come today to speak?
It's a great feeling. I'm appreciated that he brought me up here. This is my first time, but yeah, I'm appreciated.
Everybody always has a first time. Okay. What about you, Nelson? What do you think, man?
I'm just grateful that Coach and God have brought me up here, given me this opportunity to speak. I'm just happy and grateful.
Coach, another question for you this time is talk about your region this year. Little changes to it, little subtle changes, but how do you anticipate things right now changing with the area being restructured?
I'm excited. It's new. We're in the north. I feel like Anderson is geographically in the north, so
it's going to bode well come playoff time.
No
not
doubt.
having to go to Mobile.
No doubt. I think last year we went to 2 hour middle. I think it was 5 hours.
Yes.
For a away game, which was crazy. But anyway, just new challenges. I'm a coach that believes in playing football and not ducking opponents. And you know, at the end of the day, you got to go play. So I'm excited about our non-region. I'm excited about our region. It's a tough region, but I'm excited to compete.
Coach, talk about the new facelift on the Gray Old Lady.
Man, it's awesome. Just thankful to our superintendent, our school board, our principal. Anniston, we're pushing for a program, not a team. And just catching up with the times. I think that the turf is going to help us as far as manpower. It's going to help us athletically, and it's aesthetically pleasing as well. So it really looks good. They're putting the finishing touches on it right now. That makes it even more exciting when we come out on August 30th at home.
Well, just the money alone that you save in tractor expenses and cutting grass and all that fun stuff.
And painting the field.
Painting the field.
Oh,
you gotta
man.
love it.
Now we just go play.
I got a question for both players. Y'all are both seniors this year. Is there any added pressure with being a senior, and how is this season, the start, different from past seasons?
It's different because we playing different teams. Yeah, it's different. It's just very different.
Like Kamara said, it's a lot of new teams. I feel like it's kind of a tougher schedule this year, but I just feel a lot more pressure being a senior because it's really my last year just being out here. So.
All right, question for the players. What is your favorite part of the whole process? I want you to think back to the end of last season up until this season. What is your favorite part of the whole process?
My favorite part is the work that we put in to be able to win the games and all that. I'm very excited for the season and everything.
I love the beginning of the actual season, like August, because then we start back getting ready to actually play instead of just working. Like, I love working, but I love being able to actually play and see that work be put in and used.
Yeah, because I have the opinion that a lot of championships are won in the summertime. Just the work you put in that nobody sees, that makes a difference, Coach. Can you talk to that a little bit about these gentlemen here, and even our super sophomore, talk about what they put in for you?
A big reason why I chose these two young men and I brought Sharante is just the mentality. Kamar may have missed one workout this summer, and he informed me what was going on, and he comes with a hard head every day. Andrew had an injury in the spring, and he'll be ready to go. Week 1, hasn't missed a day. I mean, they're completely committed to not only bettering themselves and bettering us as well, helping us achieve our goals. Sharante the same way, hasn't missed a workout. All three of them have a different mentality, and the mentality is to work. and that's pretty much my mentality. They didn't get it from me. Parents did a great job. Grandparents did a great job. I just added a little salt on top, maybe a little pepper too. But those guys, man, they have been the ultimate workers, and also, which make me, I guess, even prouder, their offensive and defensive linemen. That's where you win the game at. I mean, we're full of skill guys. We got a ton of them, but we're going to ride those guys' backs.
Rico, tell us about some of those skill guys and specifically who kind of steps in to give you the production that you got from Jay Money last year. And then tell us a little bit about your big sophomore back here.
Start with the skill guys. Man, we have a plethora. Ja'Cory Carr, he's had a great offseason. He started last year. He was a 10th grader. He's an upcoming junior. He's an outside receiver. Damon Pope, he started 4 games for us at quarterback last year when Gavin got hurt. And we're expecting big things out of him. Brock Grant has had a great offseason. He's going to play some running back for us. We got a kid transfer from Welborn. Jabbar Williams, we're expecting big things from him. He's had a great offseason. It's so many kids. Caleb Moore, he's an ex-receiver. He spot played last year. Caleb has had he's been consistent, been there pretty much every day. Tariq Judkins, he spot played last year. He's going to play some safety. Jay Money's cousin, he's going to start for us at safety. He spot played a little bit last year. So we got a lot of kids that have a lot of time. Kamar's brother, he's not a skill guy. He's about 6'1", about 330. He started a couple games for us last year. He's going to be our left guard, possibly. I mean, our skill guys never really worry about that. You always worry about the trenches because that's where the games are won and lost. A little bit about Sharante. We talked about his mentality. Right now, he's garnered a couple offers. Texas State, ULM, Alabama State. It's going to grow. He's been to several camps. Actually, camped at Alabama. Quick story: the Alabama O-line coach was the O-line coach at Alabama State when I played. So Coach Cap has been around a long time, so it's a good connection. I think with Sharante, he's about 6'3", 6'4", but it's a different height when you get to Bama. I saw the Caden Proctor kid. My God, he's about 6'9". So, but he did a great job. He's going to have a monster year. I'm just really excited about our team. I was talking to the kids in the car, or the young men in the car. I shouldn't say kids. And I feel like we're closer this year, a closer-knit team. So we're very excited.
Rico, this is your second year. I mean, you've kind of figured out where all the sticks and stones are now. Where do you feel like the program needs to grow the most to continue to develop as a program and not just a team that might have a good year?
Just consistency. I think that's our word. Even this summer, I told the kids that, we'll be up to the heights, and we won't bottom out, but we'll kind of drop down to the middle, just up and down until like the last 2 or 3 weeks we've really locked in. So just consistency from us as a team, as far as them academically in the classroom, as far as just us as a support system, everyone being involved. So I think the word is just being consistent and keep putting pressure where it needs to be applied. So we're growing, and it has no choice. As long as Anston sees fit for me to be the coach, it won't be a team, it'll be a program.
So going into this season, tell me about what that week before the first game, what are things going to look like, Coach? How are y'all going to be?
Well, we have a jamboree game. We're playing Heflin, Cleveland County. We're going to treat it like a real game to get ready for a 5A Beauregard that's coming in. Business as usual. We'll break down film. We'll have practice set up, our structured practice set up normally how it is. We want to go 1-0 every week, but we do have big goals. I come to Anderson, I said this last year, region champions and state champions. We didn't achieve that last year. That doesn't mean the season was a failure. It just shows what we need to build on. So we have that same goal this year. We got about 60 boys strong, and I feel like we're getting ready to go.
We have any other questions from the field? Coach, at this time, we've got one more question.
I'll end it on something light. Do you have the new college football game in the field house yet, and when can I come play?
So we played it. When was it? Last week. I played Jay Money's cousin, and he beat me by 3. No, he beat me by 4. They all think they pros at it, and I don't even have a PlayStation 5, but I've been playing college football for a long time. So whenever you want to stop by, I'm gonna give them to bring the system up, and we play. So they stay in maybe 2 times a week, and they play the game. So it's pretty cool how they have it set up with even our kids. Rock is on there, Jay Money's on there, Spooty, Antonio Kite's on there. It's pretty cool how they have it set up. I can tell it was a big investment. Now I'm finna get ready to go buy a PlayStation 5.
Which one of you two is the best?
I'm most definitely better.
He probably is.
All right, so Coach, in your closing remarks, just talk about your expectations for the season for us.
Expectations, just grow from year one. Obviously, expectation is playoffs, region champion, state champion. I mean, that's what we're striving for. That's the football side. The growth side is having these young men growing to manhood, going into the community, and whether they play football or not, to me, I really don't care. I care if that's what they want to do. I want them to be successful. So if they want to go to school, I'm going to help them any type of way I can to go to school. I don't care if they come. They may want to be the president of Anniston Country Club. That's great. I'm going to help them any way that I can. So just growth into adulthood, manhood, from the growth side, from the football side, is, we want to play a protective stadium.
Well, Coach, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys being here with us today. And so at this time, we'll conclude with Anniston Bulldogs. We'll be back in about 5 minutes with the Oxford Yellow Jackets. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Actually, guys, we're going to take about a 20-minute lunch break right now. So y'all help yourself. The buffet is open. You can eat out there at a table or bring it back in here, whatever you want to do. We'll start promptly at 12:15 with Oxford.
Two 571-3002, or you can call the store number at 205-594-7000.